Welcome to the Luna Lab, all things tech through the lens of Gen Z. I'm your host, Luna Leo, and I'm exploring what the hell is going on in this tech-saturated world I've been born into. Why are all of my friendships managed through social media? Why am I addicted to my phone? Why did my parents grow up with tree houses while I grew up with Minecraft? On this podcast, I investigate these questions and more. So turn off your apps, turn on your brains, and join me in the Luna Lab. In a time where companies are going bankrupt, people are losing jobs, and economies are reaching their lowest, Apple shares have grown nearly 60% within the past 6 months. They were the first US company to reach a $1 trillion market value in 2018, and they've now become the first US company to reach a market value of $2 trillion. And they've been able to achieve this, although the company shut down factories in China that produced devices and its retail sales were put on pause due to the coronavirus pandemic. So, how exactly was Apple able to do this? Apple's not done much within the past 2 years. So it might be shocking to some people that they were able to achieve this success. However, Apple no longer relies on groundbreaking inventions to keep the business booming. Instead, it's created a system where its success is intertwined with how its customers communicate, entertain themselves, and shop. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, isn't Apple a company that makes devices? Yes, it does. And they were able to reach $1 trillion because of world-changing products, like the Macintosh computer, the iPod, and the iPhone. But since then, Apple has mostly just tweaked their past creations, and selling products with names like the Apple Watch Series 5, the iPad Pro, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And due to these tweaks, they were able to get a stable customer base in services such as streaming music, movies, and television programs, as well as providing new services and selling subscriptions. These subscriptions have been boosted during the pandemic because we're all locked continuously at home with nothing to do. For example, I've recently purchased Apple TV Plus, Apple's video subscription, because I have more time on my hands and a lot of my friends are talking about movies and TV shows that I've not watched. So I decided to purchase this subscription and get caught up on these shows, so I actually know what they're talking about. Additionally, I've learned that the majority of technology found in the private all-girls school I go to is from Apple. Whether it is the iMacs in the computer lab, the Apple TV systems on the smart boards, which are located in every classroom, or the iPads and MacBooks that are implemented in the primary grades learning experience, it is evident that Apple has played a large role in my childhood learning experience and has made me a lifetime customer, as well as the majority of my school. Moreover, when it was time for us to bring our own devices in middle school, my school only allowed us to use MacBooks or iPads because apparently our P counter printing system was not compatible with other devices. However, I did a bit of research as I'm writing this episode and found out that P counter is a matter of fact compatible with Windows. Furthermore, Apple's most significant advancement during these past few years is undoubtedly its capacity to generate profits, which is something that no other tech company is able to compete with. Mr. Cook, Apple's CEO, has built a sophisticated global supply chain that produces billions of devices and created a product line designed to lock customers into its ecosystem. Hence, they buy new gadgets every few years and pay monthly fees to use Apple's suite of digital services. For example, if you purchase an iPhone, you're likely to purchase a Mac as well, because it makes tasks like keeping track of files, photos, and contacts a lot easier. Additionally, all Apple devices come with the Find My app, which allows users to keep track of the location of all their devices, as well as locking them if they ever lose them. This app also allows you to keep track of where your friends are if they approve. This app is both an invasion of privacy and incredibly useful at the same time. It can be creepy to think that Apple and your friends are able to constantly know where you are. However, this privacy is sold in exchange for being able to save thousands of dollars if you ever lose one of your devices. So maybe, at the end of the day, the loss of privacy is useful. Another way that Apple forces its users to pay its fees is through iCloud, because no matter how many devices you purchase, you only receive 5 gigabytes of free iCloud storage. And if you need more space, you have to pay a monthly upgrade subscription fee. So, how much is 5 gigabytes equal to? It's equivalent to around 2,500 photos. And from asking my friends, this is definitely not enough, because we all have more than 2,500 photos in our phones, and we have documents stored in our iCloud as well, which means that we all have to pay at least $2 a month, as long as we use Apple's devices. Additionally, Apple is also earning money from the companies that run businesses on their devices, as they are taking a 30% cut of some app revenues. Moreover, in a recent interview that Luca Maestri, Apple's finance chief, did with the New York Times, he said that, quote, "Our products and services are very relevant to our customers' lives, and in some cases even more during the pandemic than ever before," unquote, and disputed that the pandemic had been good for business, but Apple would have made billions of dollars more without it. However, I'm afraid I have to disagree with this statement, and believe that Apple would not have achieved this if it were not for the pandemic. This is because the pandemic has forced everyone to work, learn, and socialize virtually. Thus, they have to buy new products likewise that allow them to do so. This was evident, as from April through June, despite Apple shutting down many of its stores, it still earned $11.25 billion in profit, which is 12% more than last year, and Apple increased its sales of every product in every part of the world. Their sales were able to grow tremendously because families had to make sure that each member had a device that allowed them to take online classes. Consequently, they had to purchase new devices for their younger children because they are unable to give them their computers since they had to work. So, which products were purchased the most? The demand for everyone to work at home benefited the iPad and Mac sales the most, and raised the price target on Apple from $419 to $430 per share. Additionally, Apple released the iPad Pro 4th generation during the pandemic, which helped boost its iPad sales by 31%, and its other products category, which includes AirPods and the Apple Watch, grew 17%. And Mac revenue also rose around 18% from this time of last year. Personally, I think it was not coincidental for Apple to announce the release of the new iPad on March 18th and have it available for purchase on the Apple Store on March 25th. This is because it was around the time that the pandemic was getting serious, and people were starting to purchase devices to help them work at home, and customers were encouraged to splurge for the iPad Pro instead of the other models, because this particular iPad is known as being more mobile than a laptop. It can work as a laptop if you purchase a mouse, a trackpad, and a keyboard, and you can also buy an Apple Pencil, so the iPad can work as a notebook. Additionally, when a customer adds the iPad, Apple Pencil, or AirPods to their basket, text pops up and reminds the customer that Apple offers free engravings, and they can personalize it for free and states, quote, "Engrave an emoji, name, initials, phone number, or date, only at Apple," unquote. Below the text, there's a photo of an example engraving and a button to add an engraving. This marketing strategy usually works because the majority of my friends, including myself, press the button because we humans want things that are special and one of a kind. The engraving allows us to personalize our products with jokes or to show our ownership for it. For example, one of my friends engraved HD on her pencil as a joke because normal pencils have that engraved on them as well. In contrast, others have their names engraved on their AirPods because we all have the same ones, and the engraving allows us to differentiate ours from others. This add-on will enable us to add a sense of humor and demonstrate our personalities on these daily items, which make us feel special and want to come back to this company for our next gadget. This is because it improves our experience with the company, because we think that we are at the center of their attention. Apple is playing in a growth economy, where the only place to grow is information collecting and our attention. Once you have the headphones, phone, and laptop, the only way to extract more money from customers is either to mine their data or solicit content. Both options are about capturing our attention and input. Apple is a great product, but it is increasingly entrenching itself in the competition for our attention, lurking near the edge of the swamp pit where Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, and Insta duke it out. The thing to watch is how a brand like Apple, that has fashioned itself as a luxury brand in tech, will satisfy its need to grow without selling its soul like the rest of the tech giants have. You've reached the end of another episode of the Luna Lab. For more information, please check out lunalabpodcast.com and follow me on Instagram at lunalab.podcast.